Hello and welcome to another nighttime video. It is Saturday the 10th at 8:15 in the evening here in Minnesota. It's snowing. I think the current temperature was about 20 degrees, I'm guessing. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, it was about 20 degrees when I last looked. I think it's supposed to get down into the teens tonight. Getting ready to run next door to Target because I want to try this. Rise mushroom coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't like coffee. Ugh. But they're claiming that mushroom coffee really helps melt belly fat away, so I am willing to try it, even though I don't like coffee, if it does. And because if I can lose some more weight, it'll be easier on my knee that's been bugging me, because my right knee's been starting to bug me a little bit, and I'm not a spring chicken. So I'm willing to try anything that'll help. I stay fairly active. Now, since I've been out of work, I haven't been as active. And because it's winter, I haven't been as active. But I stay pretty active. Heck, in only a few months of starting this channel, I've already got 100 different videos put together, I think. That surprises me. It tells me at least I've been trying to stay on that a little better, along with everything else I got going on that's kind of goofy. I've been to Target in quite a while. It's Applebee's across the road over there. I don't think I've ever been in that Applebee's. I might have to treat myself to an actual restaurant meal or something once I got income going. I don't do that even when I'm normally working. I don't get fast food and stuff like that. I prefer to get my own and cook my own. Once in a blue moon, I'll do fast food, very rarely. I think I'll look around and go back and cut through. Circle around, you probably got to see a fairly decent shot of Target. I'll turn in by the cart rack here. Probably a good spot to be. I just noticed that you can see my little LED light hanging over the dining booth back there. Shut up my navigator. I could even actually pan this over a little bit, maybe. Oh, wrong way. Well, it's already in there pretty good. Yeah, you can bend it so it looks more like a even sphere kind of with the lights. But just because of gravity and it bouncing and moving around and stuff, they all end up kind of bent the way they are, all funky looking. I guess if I really wanted to keep it in a sphere, I could get some stiffer wire that I could, twist, run through it so it would hold its shape better. Maybe I'll do that in the future or something, but nothing I'm worried about at the moment. Today, it's been a lazy day. wasn't really fighting a lot of depression today. I'll shut that off so I can burn on fuel. I was feeling kind of a little bit blah. It's snowing and stuff, and I just feel like I didn't have nothing to go or do or whatever. And I still got to edit more videos, and I figure I can do that in the camper for now. I could have went to the library, but I can't afford to keep running there with the gas. And I did check Buzz there yesterday and checked mail and stuff, and mail didn't come in yet. So now there won't be no mail to check there until at least till Monday. So I figured I'll just stay right in the area here, so I'm not burning fuel. Stop at Target here and see if they got that Rise stuff, and then from there I'll go back to Walmart and get a loaf of bread and I don't know what else I might want to get one there. Nothing major. I'm trying not to buy too much, and I've been trying to eat less so I can maybe lose a little more weight, and I've been trying to control how much fluid I'm taking in too, because then maybe I can pee off some more water weight. But I gotta watch out for that. I gotta still keep water going into me, because when I wasn't drinking enough water fluids, my feet started getting a little more swelled up. I think they call it lymphedema. So I started looking it up and what cures that or causes it and stuff. And more water. You need more water in your body. So it's kind of a balance, you know. I drink too much water. If I don't pee it out fast enough, I start putting on water weight. And but if I don't drink enough of it, well, then your blood gets thicker and it can't flow through your legs and your extremities as well. And that's where you get that lymphedema, or the swelling or water retention or whatever, or something like that. I'm still learning. I'm still researching it all on my own. So we'll see. But I'm doing pretty good for the most part, health-wise. Looking forward to the good Lord blessing me with a prosperous, fruitful future. And it ain't happening right at the moment, that's for sure, but I know better things are coming. I just hope it's really soon. I'm starting to really burn out on the struggle. And I was talking to one of my friends on the phone, my friend Cliff, who I met was doing van life here, but when the cold came, his diesel heater was out. So he went back into the cities to an apartment that he has there. And we just were on the phone for almost six hours. We were like maybe 5 minutes short of 6 hours today. And we haven't talked in a while, so we jibber-jabbered about all kinds of different stuff. Talked to him about some of my dreams and different business ideas I had, and how I feel like God, this whole experience, I'm following what I believe God's leading me through all this. And I was telling him how I think with everything that's happened in the past few years, I almost feel like it's part of the plan of the design, even though it sucks. With my brother keeping everything from the estate and me not getting my half yet or whatever. I don't even like how that sounds, because it just sounds like, just saying my half sounds like a dispute, and it shouldn't never be that way. But it shouldn't be, a few years later with me having zero either. But anyway, there's that word sneaking in on me. I think with that, I'm trying to look at things differently and why they happen and stuff. So I was telling my friend that, I think from that happening and my unemployment being denied, which it shouldn't have been denied, I just can't even believe I didn't get that. I got my hearing coming up again to finish it on this coming Thursday afternoon. Hopefully it will. I got headlights lighting me up pretty bright now, huh? I bet y'all thought I had an idea, and that's why it got so bright. No. And I was telling him how maybe God, part of the struggle was to have me pay attention to everything and to actually feel this struggle really hard, so I can understand and remember and relate more with other people that got it worse than me, that are, that are homeless or living in their cars or their vans or their campers. And so I've had time to bake or simmer through all this experience, to soak it in so I don't forget it, because it's easy for, if you look at somebody maybe that's grew up in a rich family and went from living in a nice home with their parents or whatever to leaving there to another nice place. If they've always lived at higher standard, it's easier for them to look at people that have struggled in life, or people that have went through struggles, lost stuff, whatever, whether they choose to live that way or whether they're kind of got forced into it. People that are considered homeless. They consider me homeless, even though I'm living on a camper. I'm glad I got a roof over my head. I consider this my home, and but I'm considered homeless. So, but then people that live in their cars or living in a tent and stuff, it's easy for people that have never had to go through them struggles or had different challenges in their life to just label people or say, well, they just need to get a job, or they're lazy, or whatever they want to say. And that ain't right to say about anybody. No, you don't know what other people, no one knows what other people went through that got them to where they are. There's some people, and I've met a lot of them, that are homeless in these tough situations that used to live a whole different lifestyle, And I know just since June, being out of work and all the jobs I've applied for and the interviews I've been to, well, there's a gentleman, I like seeing that. Couple come walking back to his truck, and he's got auto started up, and they come walking back, and he made sure to walk around and open up the passenger door. And she hasn't got in yet. She's starting to get in. I like it. He's standing there, making sure she gets in fine. I like seeing that kind of stuff. There he goes. He shut the door. Now he's heading over to the driver's side. Hooray! Good. I like seeing that kind of stuff, that it still exists. Good guy. I like it. A gentleman. So, anyway, sorry for the distraction there. I just had to acknowledge that and voice it, because I like that. There should be a lot more people like that in the world. Even if the lady says, "Oh no, it's okay, I'm fine, I gotta do it anyway," you open that door for him. Treat him like a lady. There he goes, rooming away, room zoom zoom. So, people that have lived a higher standard, it's easier to say that. So I feel like maybe that's part of this experience I'm living now. Maybe God wanted me to go through this and have these struggles. I'm surviving, and He's been providing. But it's scary day to day, not knowing if I'm gonna, how am I gonna get more diesel fuel to stay warm because it's winter, or how am I gonna get a few more bucks in the gas tank so I know that I got enough gas to move or to get to the library to check mail. Because if I don't get there and check it, I can't keep that address. They don't want mail piling up. You got to be there at least once a week minimum, and you can't have packages or nothing like that sent in there. It's just general mail, just because you're trying to get back on your feet or whatever. I don't know what their stipulations totally are. I haven't read through all the paperwork and stuff, but so far I've been messing nothing up. Woohoo! Thank you. Anyway, so these struggles, even though I've lived in the RV now for 3 years, I did a lot of years of watching about van life and RV life that helped me prepare for this, and I was probably more prepared going into it than a lot of people because of watching so many videos through the years while I was working and stuff. Now, you can prepare all you want, but once you live in it, you're still going to run into some challenges that you didn't see coming, or you weren't ready for, or weren't prepared for yet, or something. That's all part of the experience. And it's all right. I still enjoy it for the most part. I do want to get a home base. And, God, that house I keep thinking about here. I just like that place so much, and I feel so peaceful there. And, it's down about almost $200,000 now. It went from almost $600,000 down to $400,000. And I don't even have a job or money. I'm talking about this house. I'm not going to say I'm a dreamer. But I think God wanted me. I've been told God I've been paying attention to all this and trying to absorb in as much as I can through this whole experience, you know. And from this experience, since I've been out of work, I have come up with some, and I've shared it with a couple people, of some pretty, I think they're really good ideas for building like a nonprofit that can help the nomadic people and homeless people, or people that are struggling throughout the whole United States. I've got a couple business model ideas. I was talking to my friend about it tonight, and he's pretty impressed with it all. You know, and other people I've talked to are pretty impressed with it all too. They can see my whole vision. I said, but, you know, I got to have something to start with. And I said, so, you know, I feel like something's going to change here soon. Something's going to get better. Depending on what that better is, I don't know if I know if it's that the attorneys will get stuff settled with the estate so I can get what I should rightfully have anyway, you know, for all my 7 years of blood, sweat, and tears building it, doing everything at that place. I miss my mom. And if she would have had a will or stuff, we wouldn't have been going through this, but it is what it is. I shouldn't even be talking about that. You know, maybe I'll tell details more some other time in another video. Just to give more background on who I am, what I've been through, and all that kind of stuff, you know. I'll just keep sharing me sporadically whenever it pops into my head, like I'm doing right now tonight. Got to keep it real, you know. I don't want to have a scripted thing. So I don't know if it'll be that's going to happen. I don't know if my unemployment will go through. I don't know if because I know that they have been claiming all along. You know, I claim every week, even though I didn't get it. So that way, if I win or that, then I don't know if they'll backdate it all, or if they'll backdate part of it, or that's only if I win, of course. And that wouldn't be enough to really do a whole lot with my unemployment. It would definitely get me through the winter, that's for sure. You know, it'd take the stress off of me, for sure. My stress level would just pretty much vanish with just getting my unemployment, because that would be enough to make it through the winter for sure. And I know that I would have enough of financial cushion that, you know, like when I'm stressing out about my brakes and stuff, that if I have a mechanical problem, I can get it fixed. You know, if it ends up having to stay in the shop longer or something or whatever, I can, if I had to, you know, then I could get a hotel or motel room or something if it had to be in the shop overnight and I couldn't be in it. Although the mechanics I've dealt with, especially the ones that did my shocks and all that stuff, they would I could stay in it still. They'd just put it outside their place, and they've even offered to, when I stayed there to one night, because I had to wait one night, and they said, well, you want us to plug you in? You know, they'd run a cord out to me and everything. That's, no, I'm fine. I got my solar and that, I'm fine. You know, but it was nice for them to offer that, you know. God, I'm sidetracked. I'm bouncing all over. I do that a lot. So I just feel like something's going to change, and all this experience, I was supposed to soak it all in, and I've got ideas, and I hope I can pull it off. You know, because instead of working, beating up my body, making a corporation or something richer, you know, and everybody's got to work. There ain't nothing wrong with that, but I just feel I'm destined to do bigger things and help more people. And if the more people I can help, the better that is for the whole world. And I've been like that all my life, you know, and because of the butterfly effect or whatever you call it, you know, things spread out. I hope I can pull this all off. And I hope the good Lord blesses me with a lot of years yet to be fruitful and spread a lot of good things. But this idea I've got, if I could, some of these ideas I got for nonprofits and helping, boy, I really like to spread that nationwide. I got an idea how to go nationwide, but I'd have to build the first model here. Got some ideas on it. You know, I still got to check into some of the different zoning laws and stuff like that, you know. I got a pretty good game plan for it all, though. I got a pretty dang impressive plan. I'm pretty sure I could, with the first model, I'm pretty sure I could get it up running. And if I could prove that it can work and fund itself, you know, as a nonprofit, or with minimal funding. I guess minimal funding would be nice, just to have a cushion to keep it going, to keep being able to keep helping people. You know, because I wouldn't want it to have it be in a position to collapse to where here you're helping these people and now this doesn't exist no more. Sorry, you can't come here no more. I don't want that to happen. But yeah, I've got some cool ideas. Don't want to talk about it too much because I think I can get this going and then I can be like, ta-da! We can do this. And then more people could maybe do it, or else I'm going to expand it throughout the United States. Ain't I a big dreamer? Well, my buddy I was talking to tonight, he sure likes the idea of it, and it made me feel really good. I could tell he's like, it's almost like he can feel that it's really going to happen. I don't know how. I was laughing to him about that. I said, here I am telling you all this stuff and these dreams and stuff, and I ain't got a pot to piss in right now, you know, but then again, that's a dream that fuels you, you know. Told my sister that when she's still alive. My sister that got in the accident, that was ended up paraplegic from chest down. She one time she said it in a nice way. She said, "You've always been a dreamer," and I wanted her to feed off that more. I said, "Well, yeah, Stephanie." I said, "That's how you feel stuff and go for something. If you didn't have something to dream about, then you might not have the ambition to go after something or to do more. You know, if you get that dream or something that fuels you, something, that picture in your mind, that gives you something to build on, you know, or whatever." So I used a Goldwing as an example. So remember my Goldwing? I said I'd never had a bike that big, but I wanted to get one. And then when I seen it finally, I was like hoping no one would buy it, and that maybe if no one buys it, maybe by my check after the next, maybe I can get it. Well, no one got it, and I got it. So it turned out, you know, I've had multiple things happen like that. I remember my mom telling me, she said, you know, when you think about it, everything you've ever wanted or dreamed about getting, you've done. She said, I know there's some that you haven't gotten yet, but a lot of them you've already achieved, you know, in different stuff, and I have. And then I've had, like, I wanted to have a Trans Am because I like Trans Ams. I got a Trans Am. I ended up having two of them, two different ones. The first one I got was the newer model, like the Knight Rider car, and that was a cool car. It was fun. I was younger. I was in my 20s when I had that. I was still in my 20s, I think. 20s to 30s when I got my second one. That was more like the Smokey and the Bandit version. It was an 81 with the shaker hood and everything. Had some cool different motorcycles, and got to go see some places around the country a little bit. Been to Niagara Falls and Smoky Mountains and Disney World, and been to Las Vegas when I was younger as a kid, but I was with my parents and my sisters then, so we kind of just got limited to the hotel room, Circus or the swimming pool or something, you know. Yeah, I think it was Circus. But we were too young then to really enjoy it like an adult can kind of enjoy it, you know, getting to go out to the different shows and all that kind of stuff. And back then, it wasn't as catered to children. Like now, it's more family oriented down there. I think they got more family friendly shows and stuff like that. But I'm babbling on. I should get off of this thing right now. Oh my gosh, yes, we're at 23 minutes. Another long video. Hey, thanks for watching. God bless you. Give it a thumbs up if you would. Subscribe if you haven't. Share it with somebody. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one.